Convention Center where Politico is doing an event here. They've got Xavier Becerra, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, and the rest of the crew. And we're out here talking about the over 85,000 missing migrant children. Now, I even talked to a guy from the ACLU, asked him what he thought about the missing migrant children sold into the sex trade, and he said, we're representing. I said, well, would you like a flyer? Do you want to talk more about these migrant children sold into the sex trade, free labor? This is modern slavery.
Yep.
And the ACLU doesn't even care.
No. We
had liberals laughing about it. You know, they weren't interested in the flyer. This is part of Xavier Becerra's work. If you look at his resume, it's impressive. He's had a lot of jobs. But then when you look at what he actually accomplished or the damage that he did, that's a different story. Does everybody remember the baby formula shortage? Guess it was the mastermind of that. Remember, he was running HHS under Biden and all of the things that we were running out of.
What was his qualifications, do you think, by the way, to be the head of the Health and Human Services, HHS? Why Becerra?
Maybe it was because of the fantastic job he did helping Alex Padilla destroy California elections. You know, Nancy Pelosi was in on that, on the Make America Great, or Make America Vote Act, HAVA and the DMV, which was an absolute disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, Election Integrity Project California was able to show that the DMV was changing the place of birth for people. So if you were born in, say, Zimbabwe, and you were one of the people who had your origin of birth changed to either the United States or California, and we've documented who those voters are. And that's where Bill Asaley and the Trump administration is trying to get those voter rolls. I've actually published some articles with the Gateway Pundit and with Joe Hoff going back to how we ended up in this election system in California, how it started, how it was rolled out. And Becerra had a big part in that. As people would question where him in the position of AG, he would sweep it under the rug, where we had computer problems, where people's political party was changed, where illegal aliens were allowed to register to vote. He wasn't willing to do his job. We have over 85,000 missing migrant children. Some people think it's as high as 360, but the minimum we're hitting is 85,000 missing children. These were children that were smuggled across the border. They were sold into the sex trade. We found a bunch of them in meat plants where they have been working as slave labor. That's just it, guys. This is 2026, and we're still looking for these children, sex slaves, labor slaves. They were used as mules to bring drugs into this country.
Let me cut in here.
Okay.
In the very beginning, it was 385,000 missing children was what was reported. And the media all of a sudden has changed. They're saying now, because if you actually look it up and you try and Google how many missing children under Becerra, it goes, only 85,000. There was never 300 and something thousand. Actually, there were. And they've rescued almost 200,000 of those children now. You realize that? They've rescued those children.
Yes.
So if it was only 85,000, how have they rescued almost 200,000 at this point? It's all a flippin' lie, and the media's complicit with it.
We don't have the numbers. Xavier Becerra has refused to answer it. We've all seen the videos of him running away from the newspapers, from media, asking him about the missing children. I want to know what happened to the formula for the American children. But, you know, those kids have long been, you know, they're grown a little bit older now. They're toddlers. They're off the formula. They were deprived food because of Xavier Becerra's leadership. Like I said, he's had a lot of jobs. He just hasn't been good at all those jobs.
And he's now running for governor of California. This has got to end. Talk about Becerra running away. I just tried to get into the event. Thought it was a public event. It's at the Sacramento Convention Center. I thought anybody was invited. I was turned away. I was told no, I had to have some kind of special email, proof, this email, that I was allowed to come in. I never saw an email like that. I never got that email. Who is this for? We have Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, of course, Becerra, and thank God Steve Hilton has shown up. He's the only Republican in the entire event. What are they promoting? What are they talking about? I don't know. I'd love to tell you. I'd love to be able to go in there, but they won't let me go in there. Oh, one more ironic thing, by the way. Not only did I need some non-existent email that I never even heard of, but I had to have photo ID to get in.
Sorry, guys.
Such irony.
Sorry about that. You know, we're hustling our flyers. We've got volunteers out here protesting, and all we're trying to do is get people to acknowledge that at minimum there are still 85,000 missing children. And as you see, we're offering flyers to everybody that goes in. You know, we've got some people who are takers, but you know, we've got a lot of others that they think it's a joke. They're laughing. Even the ACLU, I was talking to them about the gentleman that was here from the ACLU wearing a really ugly houndstooth jacket, but that's beside the point. I said, you know, do you care about these over 85,000 missing children? He says, we're here to represent. And I said, well, take the flyer. Talk to me about what you're doing. And he just laughed.
Hey, I'm curious. The guard here has been just watch. He'll just open the door for everyone coming up. There he goes.
Ladies, can I offer you a flyer about the 85,000?
He opens the door for everyone coming up. But when I came walking up wearing my United States flag hat, my 250th anniversary of our nation pin, I was turned away. He wouldn't even let me go in those doors right there. Why is that? So what is this thing about? Do you know, Chris?
This Politico's putting on an event. I guess it's like a political symposium. And basically it's a dog and pony show for the people of ruined California. You know, Xavier Becerra, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, you know, all
the worst of the worst.
Best.
Truly the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Up on stage. The only thing we need is Scott Wiener. The only reason why Senator Scott Wiener is not here is because Nancy Pelosi is now campaigning against him.
Oh, they found somebody worse?
She's supporting one of the supervisors from San Francisco to be mayor or the next senator to take her seat because she's stepping down.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, there may be more here. I know Republicans in District 7 here in the Sacramento area, we are trapped. And you have to choose. Are you going to vote for Doris Matsui or the Democrat Socialists? My bang, you know, so Republicans, we have to pick the lesser of two evils.
So it's between two freaking Democrats.
Two Democrats and one
because of our jungle primary.
And one of them's more socialist than the other.
Yep. Exactly
so
right.
That's what we've got going on.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Hey guys, you know, I didn't win this race for Congress, but yeah, that's just one inning in this ball game. I'm not going anywhere. So now I'm free to be an activist, and right now I care about the missing children. Children sold into the sex trade, free labor. This is modern day slavery. Now the question is, will there be any reparations from the Biden administration, from Becerra, for these children that were deprived of their life? They're not worried about that. I'm worried about these kids that are being trafficked, horrific things. Stuff, if you were to see what was happening to these kids on TV, you'd turn the channel, unless you are a sicko pedophile and one of them keeping them in your basement.
Right.
I mean, it's a horrible way.
Those are the people they're defending.
That is the people they're defending. We've got the ACLU in there defending Becerra, the guy who made it possible for these children to be sold into the sex trade. All we're asking him is, if you made a mistake, dude, admit it.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
Right.
Just fess up. Yeah, we're forgiving people, but for right now, you know, we want to know where the kids are. What did you do? We already know they cost, you know, formula for kids, destroyed the election system. He was more than happy to help Alex Padilla and Nancy Pelosi destroy elections in California.
He was one of the integral reasons why we did not get Prop 6 passed. That would have repealed the whole, they're able to increase the registration, vehicle registration, and the fuel tax at a moment's notice anytime they want. We tried to repeal that with Prop 6, and they changed the wording of it.
Yes.
They changed the wording of it. They made it so confusing that people who thought they were voting for that were actually voting against it.
Well, that's just it.
And that's what they do. They've just done it with Prop 39 as well.
Prop 39, yes.
They've just done that same damn thing.
Yep.
This time it's...
Here's a nice lady who took one of the flyers, so that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Boy, they.
All right, hold on. Can I offer you a flyer about the missing migrant children? Over 85,000 missing migrant children. This is modern day slavery. We all have to step up and protect these children.
I guess that's a no. I guess that's a no.
They don't care.
They do not care.
We
know that they don't care. All they care
They-
about is posturing and acting like they do care.
Well, I'm sure they all have nonprofits and they're getting money. What is it, Sacramento County? Let's go in the shade a little more. Sacramento County missing $64 million. See, what happened was, I believe it was in 2021, they purchased a $13 million building to house the homeless, and it was a warehouse that the homeless could never be housed in because it didn't meet ingress and egress.
Oh, good heavens.
not
So are
only-
you serious?
Oh, there! I've got a great article.
They did
coming
no
out.
pre-planning on that,
No
obviously.
pre-planning. I asked
Unbelievable.
was it Sue Frost before she ran off to Arkansas?
Before she escaped.
Yeah, before she
Moved to the
escaped.
United States of America.
Why would you buy a building? Authorize the purchase of a building that sold the year before for $12 million, and we paid $23 million
Unbelievable.
for
Are you
it.
serious?
And so then,
What buddy of Newsom owned that building?
well, I've actually done the records request, so hopefully I'll have those back soon, and we'll find out who made the
Good,
commission
good.
on selling that building for twice what it's worth.
Yes.
But now we just had Rosario Rodriguez put out a PSA, if you will, that Sacramento County is now $64 million into a homeless facility over off of Watt Avenue. They've kept security guards there, making sure the homeless couldn't get into the warehouse building where the homeless were supposed to be, because it isn't safe for the homeless to be there.
Oh, my
And
word.
California, not even
But it's
California,
okay for them to live in ditch banks and down in gullies.
Exactly, and this has been going on since COVID. Guys, it's 2026.
This is
For
so
$64
pathetic.
million, we could have bought them all a house, and I would be the realtor. I could have made a great commission. Selling everybody a condo.
There you go. Little tiny home complex.
Little tiny homes, mobile home complex.
Uh-huh.
But, this is what it's Sacramento, and they say, well, we need more oversight. You know what more time for oversight from the Sacramento County supervisors is? We need a pay raise.
Yeah.
So we can spend more time to spend your money without transparency. That's
it.
what the code word is. And we're just watching it. I have a picture from a couple of years ago while I was down here, and there was a homeless lady sleeping in the middle of a construction zone. So somebody gave her a Starbucks, and she's sitting there with little yellow cones or orange cones around her. These guys are in hard hats running forklifts and heavy equipment, and this homeless lady's got cones to protect her. Welcome to Sacramento. I'll send you those pictures. They are insane.
Okay, thank you. Christine Bish, where do we find you? How do we get a hold of you?
I haven't changed it yet, and I'm sure it's upsetting some of my opponents, but it's still bishforcongress.com.
Got it.
Bishforcongress.com. We will be updating it to Christine Bish for California, but you can still find me on social media. Just look up Christine Bish, and wherever I am, you will find me.
BISH.
Exactly, and the slogan stays the same, because in just a matter of time, the Bish will be back.
It's an Elton John song you should incorporate as a theme song. I love Christine. I love her so
Hi,
much.
guys.
I appreciate her so much, what she does. She's an amazing, amazing woman. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
I'm going to take a look at some of the other signs around here and talk to some of the folks who are here to try and let people know exactly how ridiculous it is to even consider Xavier Becerra to be the governor of California. No. What, are you drunk? Thanks for being here. I'm
welcome.
really glad you're here.
New California State.
New California State. That's the way. We see what you got. That's exactly right. Or more. 80,000 kids or more. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
Really appreciate you.
I don't care.
Spike. Look at Spike. thank you for coming with me, pal. Deb's taking care of you here. Deb's taking care of you. Hey, Jordan. Jordan Brace, come over here, please.
Okay.
Hello to you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm borderline amazing. Thank you for asking. So this event is Politico put this on.
Chris Bish invited me, and she is so sweet and she's so awesome, and I think that she's a rock star for putting this on.
I fully agree. And what she did was invite us to come down here and do what the left does all the time. We're great at showing up and going, hooray for our side.
Yeah.
But we don't show up when the bad guys are on display. We don't show up and go, no, boo to you. We don't want this.
Right.
We don't do that. So Chris put this together at the very last minute, and I'm glad she did. We have Xavier Becerra in there, who's running for California State Governor, the man who was head of the several. What hasn't he done, for heaven's sake, and none of it well?
Well, he hasn't looked for the 85,000 children, that's for sure.
Oh, it's far more than 85,000. That's just what the media is now telling us. I mean, they've rescued.
I believe it's as high as 130,000, actually, now that I think about it.
They've rescued over 150,000 now at this point. So how is there only 85,000 if they've rescued over 100?
Exactly.
Almost 150.
And no one is holding him accountable. It's really sad.
Not at all. Certainly not the media. And that's why we're here to point out what happened under his watch when he was with Joe Biden, Obama. And
this should be a nonpartisan issue. The lives of children, the lives and safety of children should not be something to be argued.
I love that. I love that point.
Thank
Of
you.
course it should. So we don't show up for these kind of things, though, and I hope we do. I hope we start. We've got to be here. We've got to let our voices be heard. The media is here, and they're all in hiding. They're all incognito inside. But thank you, Jordan, for being here. Where do we find you, by the way? How do we get in touch
On
with you?
X at Jordan Brace 8 or on Rumble at Brace Yourself.
Spell that.
BRACEYOURSELF.
Got it. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. You're familiar with Max Bonilla. He's been on my show before, and I just admire and respect what he does and his brain. He's got such a great brain. And from a very young age, he's been very active in letting his voice be heard, standing up in opposition to what the left is doing. You started when you were, probably 15 years old doing that?
Probably.
I've seen some of the videos of you standing up to Richard Pan, then senator.
That was a long time ago.
It was, but he's running again, by the way.
Well, ever since everybody started talking about Fauci again, I wanted to get in on the action when it came to Fauci. But you have all these text threads coming out. You have him pleading the fifth, which you think, well, that's unnecessary if you've been pardoned, right?
Right.
And a lot of the pardon was retrospectively, but it goes back to such an early date. You know, we're talking like 2014, and that was before the Wuhan Institute got all involved with certain things.
Well, with our money, with our tax dollars.
With our tax dollars, but Penn was in on it too, and now he's going to be in the United States Congress. But I will say the good news is he doesn't know what's coming. He doesn't know how much gridlock he's going to face with most of his ideas. So even if he wants to propose the craziest thing, vaccine mandate here, vaccine mandate there, well, we've got a new executive
And he's
order.
big on that.
Well, yeah, we've got a new executive order on the childhood vaccine schedule, which I think made some interesting changes that he's not going to like. And B, for him to get a legislative referendum to try to change that, it's going to be very difficult. He's going to have to work with a lot of people who are going to disagree with him on many areas. Because here's the thing about Pan, he's radical, he's extreme. The scary thing is kind of saying, well, you know, he might actually beat Kevin Kiley. And we've had Kevin Kiley in Congress for about the last 4 years.
And he's been doing an extraordinary job.
And Kevin Kiley's been doing pretty great in the roles that he's been in. So this would be quite different, actually. And Pan has a focus on health, but it's not health in the way that people generally conceive it.
Yeah, he's every bit as good a doctor as Ami Bera.
Right. Well,
as Jill Biden.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, it's health not in the way that people typically conceive it. It's health and there's only one solution. There's a one size fits all. And I'm not against people getting vaccinated, never been against people getting vaccinated. You should be able to get all the vaccines and boosters and whatever it is that you want for whatever disease or illness, or get it for your children. But really, it should be up to people's agency. And my problem with Pan is I don't think he has much belief in people's agency and
He
able to
doesn't
make
have
their own
much belief in anything except
determinations.
himself.
Yeah, except for himself.
Such a narcissist. What about this event? What do you know about Politico? Who is that? I don't even know who that group is or what it is.
Yeah, well, Politico, I think they seem to be based out of here, if I'm not mistaken, in California, but they publish a lot of articles on a lot of different subjects related to California, sometimes even national politics. But I'll see them. They'll write pieces on Becerra, they'll write pieces on Newsom, they'll write pieces on Pelosi, they'll write pieces on...
Are they on the left or right?
They seem like kind of moderately left.
Well, when I tried to get into this event here that's going on with Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Xavier Becerra, and Steve Hilton, I was turned away because I didn't have some emails showing that I had been accepted into the event. What email was that? How did you find out about that? And, oh, by the way, here's some irony, Max. They told me I needed to show a photo ID too.
They did?
Yes.
Well, I've got photo ID. I've got photo ID right here.
So did I.
So I know how easy.
I pulled it out, but they still said no.
Yeah. Well, I know how easy. I know how difficult it is to show, and it's not that
It's just
hard,
such
really,
irony, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is.
So, what do you know about this event? What's it for? I mean, Steve Hilton's the only Republican that's on the dais.
You know what? I don't know. It may just be a forum, from what I understand. As I understand it,
Forum for
Politico,
who? There's only one Republican there.
well,
The
as
rest
I
are all.
understand it, Politico does a lot of forums, and they tend to focus on Democrats. There's no doubt about that. As far as registering for their events, I mean, I've seen you can click, you can put your info, you get email confirmation, but I'm not sure if it's one of those easy register events or if they're actually attempting to vet people before they say yes, you're accepted by email. But maybe they are vetting people. Although I did see some familiar faces faces that I like. Lance Christensen's actually one of them.
Oh, Lance is here.
Yeah, I saw him pop in, which is great actually.
Yeah, it is. I like
people like that in there. And if we're gonna get Steve to win, though, I think a lot of awareness needs to be raised about what's been happening here legislatively. And for example, Becerra, I think it was a 2003 bill in Congress that made Health and Human Services in charge of getting migrants, particularly migrants that are children, to their correct stations, getting them to the right places. Essentially, the HHS was made responsible for being a guide for, migrants, that, putting them in the right place, in the right spot. But he misplaced a lot of, I don't want to say misplaced, but there has to be something more than that, right? A lot of children went missing. That's all I got to say.
Right.
And it's rather concerning that people will not bring it up.
And that's the most concerning thing to me is nobody's talking about it.
And the most concerning thing is it's not 85,000 kids in 8 years, right? It's 85,000 kids in 4 years. It's 85,000 kids in one term.
It's far more than 85,000, by the way. That's just all the media is
trying to.
And here's the thing: out of their way to change it from 385,000 children missing to 85,000. And anytime you look that up on Snopes or anything else, oh no, it's not true. It's only 85,000. So 85,000 is suddenly acceptable then? That's okay? Because it's not 380.
Yeah,
We're supposed to be okay with that?
Well, I keep seeing different estimates for how many people came in during the Biden administration. Some sources say 20 million, some say 10, some say 15. People are like, well, what the hell?
Two former Border Patrol agents I've interviewed have both said 50 million.
50.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's insane when you think of. So if we're, nevertheless, if we're talking 10 million, we're talking about the lowest estimate. The low.
They've been saying 10 million for about 25 years now.
But even 10 million. No, as far as how many people actually came in.
Well, I understand.
During Biden, yeah.
There were already 10 million at least, though. They've been saying that though for 25 years.
Yeah.
It's far more than that.
Yeah.
This is insane, and it's changed. They're not undocumented workers; they're undocumented Democrats.
Well, there was a Yale estimate that said 22 million.
Yeah.
But I think I think as far as how many people are actually legally in the country, I wouldn't be surprised if it's close to 40 million.
But the bottom line is they're hosting this event here at the Convention Center downtown Sacramento, and Christine Bish said, let's all show up and get together and tell these people we don't like how they're ignoring these missing children and propping up Xavier Becerra to be governor of California.
Right.
So I'm really glad that you're here, Max.
Yeah,
thank you
so
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for going on with me. How do we find you? How do we follow you?
You're going to look up my name, Max Bonilla. Any platform, you'll find me right there.
B-O-N-I-L-L-A. There it is.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, partner. All right. That's it. Downtown Sacramento, broadcasting live from this event that we were not allowed to go into. I'm CharLee Simons. Do not talk. Good boy, Spike. Good boy.